to the Ethics Committee and explain why those issues are being reported against them. You can see from the figures there the number of officers who are going before the Ethics Committee. I mean, it was only established in August 2010, and I think we had 90 officers of varying ranks went through the Ethics Committee interviews. This year, so far, 255 officers have been subjected to the Ethics Committee. The Ethics Committee is used for a variety of things. Officers of concern, where there are ethical issues about them. Any officer who is going to be promoted from the rank of inspector and upwards, and a lot of the sergeants and constables, have to go through the Ethics Committee. So this is a very useful tool, again, about confronting officers in respect of their ethical issues. We talked before about today we're launching our new anti-corruption strategy, which is going to take the JCF through to 2015. It's a 3-year strategy. And this is the anti-corruption strategy. But you can't have an anti-corruption strategy without an ethics and integrity policy. You've got to have both documents which have to work together. The ethics and integrity policy is again a new piece of work that was only developed in April 2011. And currently we are endeavouring to ensure that it's implemented within the organisation. There is a framework document about how we engage all our members in respect of the ethics and integrity policy. Each member of staff has been sent a copy of this policy. Each member of staff is clearly aware now what are the standards that we expect from them within the organisation. And any breach of the ethics and integrity policy could result in discipline or criminal behaviour, action. It's about changing the image of the organisation. It's about raising the standards of the organisation. It's about providing guidance to officers. There's guidance in there, for example, about how to deal with political issues, which is quite relevant at this current time. So it gives them guidance about how to deal with diversity, how to deal with politics, how to deal with race, religion, and it goes through all of those issues. Let me move on to the next slide. One of the things is we have to go out there and educate and communicate, and this is one of the major tenets that we are engaged in at the moment. And again, you can see the increase in respect of the lectures and presentations that we are endeavouring to deliver from the anti-corruption branch. And the figures are, over 100% increase, 210 to 2011. What we've got to have, though, is the enforcement, the fear of detection has to stay. But also what we've got to do is we've got to look at the medium to long-term success for the organisation, which will be the implementation of the ethics and integrity policy. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to actually hand over to Senior Superintendent Hay. I'm going to ask him to come and talk to you in respect of some of the other areas of work that are taking place within the anti-corruption branch. So I'll be back later on to answer any questions. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Assistant Commissioner spoke about the education and communication and training aspect of our strategy. I'm going to look at the operational side a bit, which includes the detection and the prosecution of our members. And those who seek to corrupt our members, who are members of the public. And this is a message that I want to send to our citizens, that it's not going to be tolerated to continue to be engaged in corrupting our officers. And we have seen improvement where officers across the island are now taking action and arresting people who are attempting to bribe them. It is continuing, and the journey ahead is still long, but I think we're on the right track and we're heading in the right direction. We have adopted a proactive approach to investigating this scourge called corruption amongst us. It is intelligence-led, and over the years, as we go to the following slide, you will see the improvement as we continue on the journey of of arresting and detecting and prosecuting our members. Next slide. Looking through from 2008 onwards up to November, the figures are there for you to see some of the action that we have taken against corrupt members. We see the number of arrests made, persons charged, the corruption cases that have gone to the DPP, the number of convictions, the number of rulings made by the director. There are several cases still before the court, but if you look at the road that speaks to the convictions, started off slowly. As you know, the system is a bit slow in the courts, but it gradually picks up as the cases are put through to the courts. You see in 2010, there was a marked increase. This year so far, there's even a bigger increase. And the trend it's very positive for the future. Continuing, the other initiatives that we have been engaged in cleansing the JCF and removing members that are not suited or not suitable for continued service. We see 70 members being refused reenlistment so far this year, which is a continuation of the program from last year. Last year we saw 137 people being removed or refused reenlistment. And as I said, it is continuing. Number of police officers retired in the public interest, 2, and police officers dismissed as a result of corruption so far, 9. I just want to go back a bit on the reenlistment, refusal of reenlistment. From the rank of inspector down to constable, every 5 years, these members have to renew. They have to apply for a renewed 5-year period in the JCF. And what is done is that their worth and conduct is looked at, and if it's not suitable, the commissioner makes a decision whether or not they should continue. And as I said before, so far this year, 70 people have been refused reenlistment. Another initiative that we have embarked on is the establishment of the 1-800-CORRUPT line. It's a very confidential line that is used to gather intelligence, where it affords members of the JCF and members of the public to communicate with the branch. This hotline is answered offshore. It's answered offshore because we want the confidentiality of it to be established. We want people to understand that there's no chance that they can be identified. There's no way that it can be traced to anybody that makes a call to this number. It has been very, very effective over the years since it has been launched in 2009. If you go to the other slide, you'll see that in 2008 there were 96 calls. In 2009 there were 90. And in 2010 there were 58. Let me take a minute to give you a clearance on that. In 2010, we got more mature, we got more acclimatized to how the 1-800-CORRUPT works. We realized when it was analyzed that a lot of calls came to the 1-800-CORRUPT that were not pertaining to what we do. In fact, there were 215 calls in total in 2010, but only 58 of those were pertaining to corruption. The analysis showed us that 58 of those were what we really needed to work on. There were several other reasons why the people call the 1-800-CORRUPT, and it ranged from murder to theft, to domestic violence, to other breaches in other ministries, illegal entry in immigration matters, sexual harassment. So we had to send those calls across to those agencies that dealt with those matters. But 58 of the calls were what that were pertaining to what we do. In 2011 so far, there's a marked improvement now in the reports that we dealt with, which is 155, an amazing 138% increase in the calls that pertain to us. It is signifying to us that the members of the public, members of the JSAF, have become more confident in the way we are dealing with their reports. And so we are able to say 155 of the calls that were made pertain to the corruption fight that we were involved in. Amazingly, it is really mind-boggling to see the increase, and it's given us a lot more confidence to know that the community and members who are well thinking are behind what we're doing. If you could go to the next slide. We're really after not record numbers of arrests and prosecution of our members. We're really after changing the behavior of our members. We're after changing the beliefs of our members, and we're after changing the culture of the JCF. And that is why we have been embarking on several different issues and initiatives that we have implemented over the years to really reach the heart of what we really want to achieve in the JSAF. We want to see the JSAF in a better light, internationally, locally, and within the JSAF. We want to feel, once again, that pride that we should be feeling regarding the JSAF. It is getting there. We are seeing improvements. We are seeing results that we are on the right track. And so we are going to keep at it, and we are encouraged by some of the comments that we have been getting from members of the public, as also members of the JCF, who will speak to members of the anti-corruption branch and say that they are encouraged in what they are seeing, in the way that we are approaching the task, and the renewed confidence that is now coming back to the JCF.